Perspective, baby. Let me tell you about the time I ended up with a dead body in their home. So, if you don't know, I'm a private duty nurse, and at this particular time, I was working with the elderly patients. And so, of course, part of life is dying, and I think this is my very first time experience death out there on my own. Because as you know, when you're doing private duty, it's just you and that patient, you're in that home. I didn't start off doing private duty nursing, but I ended up doing it. However, once I arrived at the client's home, it's the first time working with this patient. The nurse before me had told me, hey, this patient is about to go. They about to transition, and they may not make it to the morning. So this patient is a hospice patient. They DNR. The power of attorney is nearby in another home. I said, okay, cool. So she said, if something happens, call hospice. All right, I got it. So I was checking on. She said, you don't have to stay in the room with him, but every 5 minutes, just go check on him. I was in the kitchen, and literally his room was like right in front of me. Okay, cool. I go check on my patient every 5 minutes, just to see if they are breathing. So of course, every 5 minutes I'm on it. I'm setting my alarm. Mind you, I work overnight shift, okay, y'all. So 11:30 to 7:30 a.m., 11:30 p.m. to 11 to 7:30 a.m. I get there at 11 o'clock, she give me a report, bang, bang, bang. Give me all the contact people I need to talk to. So I'm checking on them. At one point in time, he was like kind of responding, but because he was on morphine for the pain, because death is painful if you don't know, and the body dies slowly. So I go in there. The very last time I went in there, it was only about an hour and a half into my shift, and I noticed him not breathing. So I assessed him. I checked him with my stethoscope. I didn't hear any heart sound, and I listened for at least a couple minutes. He was a DNR, so that's why I did not do CPR. I did not resuscitate, so I was doing my job correctly. And he wasn't breathing. I'm like, okay, I'm checking all the other pulses. I'm not getting anything. Okay, cool. Call hospice. Let them know, patient expired. Okay. Hospice said, do you want me to call the family, or you want to call them? I said, you can call them because you know these people and I don't. Okay. She called the family. The family came over to say their goodbye. It was just the son. The son came over to say the goodbyes. And then hospice nurse came. And then eventually the funeral home came to pick up the body. And a friend of mine asked me, was I scared? Like, have I ever experienced death like on my watch while I was there? I said yes. And she asked me, how did it make you feel? Were you scared? And honestly, I was not scared at all, even though it was like the middle of the night. It's just me and him in this big house. He's not living, and I am. I wasn't afraid because, I mean, he can't do anything to me, and I don't believe in certain things. I'm trying to not get dinged for this video, but it's some things I don't believe in, like whatever. So, no, I wasn't afraid. Um, I sat there. He was already looking presentable, so I didn't have to do much. And after hospice got there, the son got there, I called my agency. We don't have hospice in my agency. If the client is a hospice patient, we take them, but the hospice is a whole different company, a whole different hospice company that comes in too, besides us. So hospice get there, we all talking. The son was telling us all these nice stories about his dad, and what are they gonna do from here. And I wanted to stay and just talk and get to know them, because like I said, I only met this man. I only got to know this man for a little bit, for like an hour and a half, and he wasn't totally coherent, so it's not like I can have a conversation with him. And no, I was not afraid at all. Told myself I need to get used. I don't want to get used to this, but it happens. This was my first time experience that and listening to someone take their last breath. Um, well, I didn't hear the very last breath, but being there on my own, because the other few times I experienced that, I was actually in a facility. So I had staff around me, which kind of helps, with any type of fear that I might have. even before I became a nurse, I went to a lot of morgues. Like, don't act, well, I tell you why I went, because we kind of had to go. I was in this program, this med prep program in high school, and we went to a lot of medical schools over the summer, and part of the curriculum was to go to the morgue. But anyway, back to this story. No, I think I handle it very well, because if I start thinking about all these movies and what the media portrayed these type of situations to be, I know that would have scared the mess out of me. Even though I'm 38 years old and I have to sleep with a nightlight. So no. Honestly, no, I was not afraid. I tried to like stay strong, like, you know what, in a minute his son gonna be here, the hospital nurse gonna be here, the funeral home is gonna be here, and mind you, it's in the middle of the night. And this house was like way out there in like the woods. Like I couldn't even get a very good reception because that's how far from the city we were. Okay. So, and I wanted to see the whole process. When I was in the facility, I couldn't stay with it. I still had other patients and had to check on them too as all this commotion going on. But with him, it was just the two of us. And so surprisingly, when the funeral home arrived, I was expecting like a hearse, and they came in this, it was like a HHR, if you know what those cars look like. They kind of look like a PC Cruiser, but they HHR. So they have no back seat, none whatsoever, and the side windows are like covered, like where there aren't any side windows. You can't like look out of it. And I asked him, I was like, "Oh, that's the car you taking him in?" I mean, he was kind of a long guy. It's like, yeah, this is our car. Like it wasn't marked or anything. It didn't have the company name on it, because to me from a distance and at night it looked like a regular car. I'm like, oh, and we were talking. And he was, for some reason, he was just telling me, he was like, yeah, I make like $600 every time I go pick up a body. I'm like, wow, really? Okay, that's interesting. I don't know why he told me that, but we were just talking, and I was interested, and because before I became a nurse, I actually wanted to work in the morgue. I don't know why, but I did. You know, but on a serious note, if it's one thing in life that it's promised, that is death, and some people handle it differently. In my situation, like I said, this was expected. I think he had cancer, so family knew that this day was coming, and it came. And it was more of a homegoing celebration. It was not a sad moment. I didn't have any type of emotional connection to this patient because I did not know this patient and only got to see them for the last hour and a half of their life. Um, yeah, that was my experience with losing a patient out there on my own with no without my coworkers nearby. Because when you're doing private duty, it's just you. It's just you doing everything. I mean, your agency, whoever you work with, they always on call, on standby. But it's not like they're in the other room and you can like page them, hey, can you come help me with that? No, it's just you, just you. And I probably tell you about the other situation I had. I actually experienced this with a patient of a different culture. So that was something really new to me. Like I had no idea that when that person or people of that culture pass away, this is how you treat the body afterwards. But that's a quick little story time on how I deal with the deceased, and especially when you by yourself, you don't have any help out there. And I hope that answered your questions. And I know I don't really talk about nursing on this channel, but probably would start giving you some stories. Like I would try to give you like some personal stories, but I have to really watch my words extremely. I have to be careful because of HIPAA laws. But this situation, like you don't even know who I'm talking about, when it happened, what city it happened in. So I think I'm safe. I'm just and if you have any stories, any nurses or anybody in the healthcare field on how you deal with it, you can leave it in the comments. You can probably help someone out, especially like the new nurses that are out here. Um, I can't tell you how to feel. obviously, most situations you're going to be scared and afraid and thinking about all of this stuff we see in movies. And yeah, but that's my story, y'all. Thank you for watching.